What's up, soldiers? Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. We did that stewed pork recipe sometime last week. What I'm going to do for the next couple of recipes, well, I'm doing this one and I have another one. I'll show you how to put leftover stewed pork, Caribbean style, to enhance other dishes. So the leftover, we're going to make two dishes. So the first one here, we've got string beans and coconut milk and stewed pork. Stay tuned, you're gonna love this one, man. Got a nice wide pan, something with a lid on a medium flame, and I'm gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It is still a bit cold, the pot isn't screaming hot. So we're gonna add a medium onion, 5 cloves of garlic, and 1 Scotch bonnet pepper. That is totally optional. I like these beans a little bit spicy, a little bit of a kick in there. I'm going to turn my heat all the way down to low now because I'm not trying to burn anything. Now, a couple things. If you're not into the heat, you don't need to add the Scotch bonnet pepper in here. I like heat, or you can tone it down and use less. The second thing is, because we're adding the Scotch bonnet pepper to hot oil, I don't know if you guys can hear that. That is the fan over my stove. You really want to vent that, or it will choke you. A couple minutes later, we're not trying to brown anything. We just want to soften up the onion and release those flavors from the garlic and the Scotch bonnet pepper. Here's where I'm going to add some fresh ground black pepper. And what I like doing at this point here, totally optional again, but I like about a teaspoon of curry powder in here. Give that a little mixy mix. We are not making a curry dish, but by adding that little bit of curry, it's going to give you a wonderful flavor balanced with that stew pork that we have left over there. So it's like a curry stew pork slash green beans or French beans or string beans, whatever beans you have on hand. I'm just going to give that about a minute on that low heat just for that rawness of the curry to cook out. Next up, we're going to add all the prepped string beans to the pot. And it's quite a bit. I have about 3 pounds of string beans in there. They've already been trimmed and cut into about 1-inch size pieces or so. Looking lovely in there. Then, of course, we need salt. I like using sea salt. I like hitting it with a bit of fresh grated ginger. And my stewed pork already has quite a bit of ginger, but I love the pronounced flavor of ginger in beans. So that is why, and remember, when you use that ginger, it's going to add a sort of a peppery note to things as well. So be mindful of that. We're going to hit that, the mix, and the beans is freshly washed, so the little bit of water is going to sort of deglaze the bottom of the pot there, picking up all the nice curry flavors, that onion, that garlic. And remember, I did say curry there, but the predominant flavor will not be curry. It is more or less a sort of a quick sort of stewed stir-fry kind of bean something. Gonna turn my heat up to medium-high, and to pull it all together, I've got some coconut milk. That's about 1.5 cups of coconut milk. We want to bring that up to a boil, so I will put the lid on there. I'm just gonna scrape the bottom just a little bit, just to make sure we pick up all the niceness on the bottom. But we're gonna put the lid on and bring it up to a boil. We've got a lovely bubble happening there, so I'm just hitting it to stir. I just want that coconut goodness to make sure and coat all the pieces of the beans. Here's where we're going to start personalizing things, because you need to know how the sort of cookness or doneness you like your beans. I don't like overcooked beans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my heat at about medium. I'm going to put the lid, no, actually medium low. I'm going to turn it to medium low, and I'm going to put the lid back on there, but I'm going to leave a space to vent it because I want to burn off most of that liquid that's there. The beans is going to sprout up its own liquid as well too. Plus, we have that coconut milk that's in there. So, lid on, and let that go on that medium low. It's been about 5 minutes since I added the beans and the coconut milk and everything to there. What I like doing at this point, I like it spicy. You guys don't have to do this, but if you have it and you like heat, I have here what our Guyanese brothers and sisters call riri peppers. We call it cherry pepper or coffee pepper because they sort of have the same shape of a coffee bean. I'm just going to fill them. I'm not going to break them. And later on when I'm eating, I'm going to burst them. Bam, bam. I'm going to get that fire. Just love it, man. But for now, lid back on and let that continue cooking. 15 minutes in, and this is exactly where I want it to be. This sort of white residue you're seeing there, that is from the coconut milk. I don't want to cook this much longer. So here is where I am going to go in with that leftover stewed pork. And I'm going to give that a good mix. I'm going to crank up my heat to medium high now, because I want to burn off all that liquid at the bottom there. So now we're just heating up back that pork. And again, it depends. This is the time that when I cook the stewed pork, that's the time from it. But if you like your beans a bit more mushy, a bit more cooked, by all means cook it longer. But I just want that slight little crunch to it, yeah? Gonna give it another quick stir. I can see most of that liquid is already gone. I just want to get back to the oils from the stewed pork. It was a bit fatty, and the oil that we started off with, plus that coconut milk will sort of generate its own oil as well to make it. It is a fat. Do remember to taste it and adjust the salt. Try not to break those peppers if you don't want the heat. Sub soldiers, listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me, email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irene. At this point here, I would recommend tasting it and adjusting the salt. Now, if you're wondering what would you serve this with some steamed rice, with some hot sada roti. If you have bus-up shot roti, even better. And Uncle Chris got all those recipes on CaribbeanPot.com waiting for you all. I'm just going to cook this down for another 2 minutes, and we're done. Enjoy all the day, alright?